Back, Bravehearts. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe, and just so you know, I am going to be wearing my Tesla eyewear for a little bit here. I don't know if you notice how often I come on, and this is actually blue light poisoning. Most people just consider this to be a normal life. I do a lot of shows, and if it wasn't for the C60 I use to drink, and if it wasn't for the Bright Eyes nano drops that I put in my eyes, I'd probably burn my eyes out. And the reality is, what people don't get is that blue light, okay, blue light is more toxic than 5G right now. Also, blue light actually damages the brain, and it's your brain creating the irritation. When you have like red inflamed eyes, your brain's inflamed. When you have dry eyes, you have dehydration in the brain. When you have floaters, okay, in your eyes, that is mucus problems. And guess what? You're getting floaters in your brain, okay? And just like anywhere, if we have too much inflammation, it acts like a magnet, and you can get heavy metals, and you can get fungal, and you can get bacterial problems. But the reality is I will take the glasses off and put them on. It's not because I'm trying to be Mr. Cool, okay? These are Tesla eyewear, invented by Tesla. They were called, they're called fluorine lenses. They are not blue blockers. Blue blockers do not work. Just know that. They don't work. I don't care what anybody says. You don't want to try to block something. You want to change something. I'm not going to try to block negative frequencies. I'm going to change those negative frequencies into high vibrational frequencies so that they will repair my brain. How many people know that I'm going to be putting those on and off, okay, when my eyes start to feel burning. But how many people know that I used to wear prescription glasses? Then I used to use readers, and now I've got perfect eyesight. And my eyes might be a little bit red right now because of all the shows I'm doing. So I'm going to be wearing, if you see me in the future wearing my Teslas, I'll explain it to people, because I'll put them on and people say, who's he, Mr. Cool? Yeah, well, no, I just want to stay cool, because whether you believe it or not, more than 3 minutes of blue light will start to poison the brain. But because I drink MCT oil C60 throughout the day, I put Bright Eyes in my eyes. I try to keep the brain burned down, okay? Anyways, we're here, and what we're doing is this is DocStar TV, and this show is called, okay, Real People, Real Healing. Now, I just want to say this. You know, I'll have people come on and go, why isn't he nicer? Okay, he needs to be nicer. Okay, now understand, if you haven't noticed, how many people out there are emotionally damaged? And it's not because I want to be nasty. I'm not going to be ever nasty. Okay, I want to show unconditional love to everyone, but I am going to tell the truth. And I'm not going to tell it because I'm angry. And if you hear my voice go up, my voice go down, you know, this is all part of waking everyone up, cracking the coconut. But understand something. I have the deepest respect for everyone, but does everyone have the deepest respect for themselves? If we could love, honor, and respect ourselves, and make our own rules, all based on unconditional love. And understand something right now. So we're going to be talking to a beautiful man, and his name is Rob, okay? And Rob, okay, got an injection, an antibiotic injection. We're going to talk what happened after that spiraled. And understand, I'm not doing this show to come on to antibiotics, because I'm going to tell you something. Your personality, what you think, what you drink, what you eat determines your health. There are people that could have had something happen. There could be 10 different people have the same thing happen, and they're all going to have different reactions. Do you know that? And it's all based on personality, and your personality is based on belief systems. And those belief systems are based on the 5 most prominent, dominant people that were in your life from 0 to 7. Oh, yeah. You could be 90 years old right now, and you're still running off programs from 0 to 7 and not even knowing it, thinking, well, this is as good as it gets. Well, this is my personality. That's what it is. No, it's not. Okay? Stop telling yourself the same story. Tell yourself a different story. And guess what? You'll have a different movie. It's all about that. You know, you are the writer, you're the director, you're the producer, and you're actually the leading star in your movie every day, from the moment you rise until you close your eyes. So is it going to be a comedy, love story, adventure? Is it going to be a drama, trauma story where you're pointing fingers? So we won't point fingers, but we will observe, and we will learn, and we'll go, no, I'm not doing that anymore. No, they're not doing that to me anymore. No, I'm not. I will say no to that, and I will say yes to me from now on. And I will make my own decisions. I will not take anything personal. But guess what? I need nobody's approval to totally unconditionally love and care for myself. That's all this show's about. And we're going to be bringing people on from A to Z. Otherwise, from Alzheimer's to arthritis to all the way to Z being what? Every autoimmune disease. And there are no diseases. There's just symptoms. And you went to the wrong practitioner. And those symptoms went into what we would call diseases. Then they went to autoimmune diseases. And now you're in critical condition. And now guess what? You're doing good for your age. And that's just a statistic, because the medical system's not in healthcare. Okay, they're in emergency care. They're in drug care. They're in radiation, chemotherapy, surgery. God love them. At least, you know what? They're there for the people that decide not to love themselves, not to care for themselves, not to do their own homework. So guess what? You know what they need? You know what people need? They need the medical system, because they need to numb you out because you don't love yourself, care for yourself, and you don't know how, and you don't have belief systems that will support that. And the reality is a lot of people have been brainwashed that if they're actually going to love, honor, and respect themselves, their family would say, "You're so selfish. You're so selfish." And the family would be saying that because they would be saying it because they're going, "Why aren't you like me? Why aren't you like?" Well, I don't want to be like you. I want to be like me. And understand something. Tell me a person in your family, okay, that really knows, okay, how to love, honor, and respect themselves. And if you tell me that, I probably won't believe you. I will believe that they're doing a lot more than you are, a lot more than the majority. But understand, only 1 out of 10,000 people know how to finish this game, that have unconditional love for themselves and for everyone else. You don't have to like everybody, but guess what? To hate people is to put what inside of you? Well, everything from arthritis to cancer. I mean, the last time you hated someone or hated anything, something or someone, it brought your vibration down, made you sick. You make me sick to my stomach. I make myself sick to my stomach. The world makes me sick to my stomach. I hate the government. I don't hate the government. Why would I hate the government? They're not even feeling it. That's going to hurt myself. I hate the medical system. I hate Dr. Wolfe. Well, go ahead and hate me. Don't care. I'll love you anyway. You got to understand something. You go around doing this, you're just going to be in a big mess. And understand, you'll be terrorizing yourself and you'll be terrorizing your family. If you can't learn to stay in the present moment and own it, if you can't learn how to love yourself and care for yourself, do mirror work, do love band work, connect to your breath, have a slight smile. You know what? Why? You know, I'll say to somebody, "Hey, smile." Why should I? Why should I? Give me a good reason to smile. There's no reason to smile. Okay. I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone. You should have to have no reason to smile, because if you had no reason to smile, you'd bring your pH up, bring your oxygen levels up, okay? You'd have more energy, okay? You wouldn't be sick, okay? So understand, sick thoughts make a sick body. So let's bring on our dear friend. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Dr. Wolfe.
Good. And if you can, it's good to speak right into the phone if you could, okay?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear, my friend. Okay, how old
Great.
are you?
52.
52. Okay, all right. So now don't get me wrong, but guess what? Rob, how young would you like to feel? Because I'm going to be honest with you. You're 52, all right? Okay? Which means that you are 15 years younger than me. Now listen to your voice when you speak and listen to mine, and I'm not picking on you. This is about energy. Yeah, right off the bat, Rob, I can tell you that your adrenals have gone flat. Okay? Do you understand?
I do.
Yes, your adrenals have gone flat. And why do adrenals go flat? Adrenals go flat because you trigger them. And how do you trigger adrenals? Well, you trigger adrenals with a fight, flight, fright response. How do you do that, Dr. Wolfe? Well, guess what you do? You tell the same frightening story to yourself over and over again. And guess what? Something dramatic could have happened to you a long time ago. And you just need to tell the story that happened a long time ago. And you're going to go through the same hormonal and chemical symptoms as you went a long time ago. So we have to change the story and drop the story. Today, we're going to talk about your story and what happened and the domino effect to why you got to where you got to. Now, understand, everybody that's listening, It's called education. All right. And education is learning how to not infect yourself, inflame yourself. So, Rob, you're 52 years old. How much do you weigh, my friend?
165.
165. How tall are you?
6 foot.
6 foot. So we know that you could gain some weight. Now now look at this. This is all observation. Rob and I have never talked like this before. So here's the deal. I already said that Rob's adrenals were flattened and he's been stressed out for a long time. He's been dripping adrenaline and cortisol into his body. So every time you drip one drip of adrenaline or cortisol, you're supposed to be running, but you can't run 24/7. So understand something. If we don't know how to, bring those horses back, calm things down, we're going to start running a program, and that program will be dripping adrenaline and cortisol and histamine into your body, okay, until you become so acidic. What happens? Well, you lose your oxygen, you lose the minerals, and then we go into what? Inflammation. Then if you keep it up, you'll go into mutation, because if you drop your oxygen levels by 35%, then your cells have to resort at mutating because there's not enough oxygen minerals to live on. So they've got to live on what? Sugars and lactic uric acid. So now we have to understand something. We have to change the way we physically and emotionally move through our day. And remember something, we are emotional beings. And if you don't learn to not react and attack and to look at your emotions and observe them without judging them, you're going to send yourself to some post-traumatic jail. And that's what we do. We traumatize ourselves if we're not telling ourselves the right story. We need to tell ourselves a hero story. So I said your adrenals are flat, okay? You're underweight, and guess what? You keep on eating, but you don't gain weight. And that's because it's like a mouse on a treadmill, and the mind can burn up, not burn up calories, but burn up muscle. So what's happening is you're not burning calories, you're burning muscle. So right off the bat, I know that we've got to deliver a really quality and quantity of amino acids, not protein, but amino acids, because I guarantee you in this condition where you feel exhausted, and you haven't told me that, but that's what's happening, is you feel tired a lot. That means that you're going to be incapable of digesting foods that need a lot of work. Listen, I know you, everybody out there, I know if you're the caretaker, you love your mom, your dad, or whoever you're with, and they can't get out of bed, but you make them cook food. The more you cook, the worse you look. The more you fry, the sooner you die. And if you don't know how to give your family things that are high vibrational, like whole plant-based blender drinks, whole plant-based meals like salads, and doing maybe steamed vegetables, and how to get the amino acids up, because right now what's happening, Rob, is that your body's so acidic that you're actually eating muscle up in your body, and that's why you can't gain weight, and that's why you're losing weight. You're not losing weight, you're losing muscle. Okay? Are you with me?
I am, yeah. And
okay, my friend.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, we may only be able to get through your story today, but I promise you, Rob, if you want, we'll do part 2, where I'll go in and build you a program from the moment you rise until you close your eyes. See, now, Light Warrior says intermittent fasting. That's only true, Light Warrior. We cannot do that with Rob. We've got to make sure that Rob hydrates properly. We got to make sure that Rob gets enough minerals and enough aminos. Now we've got to get the aminos, okay, and the minerals into Rob, because even the intermittent fasting might be too much for him, because everything takes energy. And I know that Rob's been dumping adrenaline and cortisol for too long, and he's got mitochondrial damage. I first want to get his mitochondria, which is actually, love, the powerhouse of the cell. I want to get it spinning 2,500 times per second to make the ATP, because the ATP then gets pushed out through the potassium sodium pump into the exterior of the cell, into the fluid to create new cells, but we're not doing that right now. So we've got to get the mitochondria working better. That creates more energy for Rob. And once we create more energy and we've got the powerhouses, those mitochondria working better, then we can do intermittent fasting. With Rob, I would be well, I'll go through some of the things I would do with Rob, but let's go back here. So Rob, let's talk about your story. Okay? All right,
Yeah,
go
sure.
ahead.
So I had received a bite on my knee when, about my day, just took some colloidal silver and
1 second, Rob. We got to go slower. So, Rob, 1 second. So you got a little bite of some type of bug on your knee.
Yeah, I was massaging my dog's luxating patella on his dog bed. I was in some shorts. I got up and there was what looked like a white eraser kind of sticking out of my knee, a little, white mark. And so I knew that I'd been bit by something. I went and had some colloidal silver and some wild oregano because I just don't really do a lot of the traditional medical stuff.
That's okay.
And I felt that it would get better. I put that on it as well. And, a week later, I showed my coworker, and he said, man, you better get to the doctor. So I went over to the doctor. And
okay, can you hold for 1 second? Can you hold?
Can you
hold for 1 second?
Sure.
Okay, so the bite, just understand this, everyone. One person can get bitten, it can be life-threatening. Another person gets bitten, and they have an immune system that can handle it. And Rob, we know that you're underweight, and we know that you're stressed out, and we can hear that your adrenals are flat. We need to get your immune system back. And you know what?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, some people have had a little fly bite, Rob, and or some type of bug bite, and it's killed them. You do know that, right? Because they haven't got any resistance left. So Rob, even though you haven't been already, maybe diagnosed or assessed, or someone said you had an autoimmune disease, your body's already attacking itself, because if it wasn't attacking itself, it would have been able to take this little fly bite, bug bite attack. Just know that. So we know, Rob, that we need to get you into a high vibrational, high concentrated, high vibrational light diet. So we need to get the life back into you. Remember something, everyone. Dead food gives you what? Live food gives you what? So, we're looking at enzymes, we're looking at aminos, we're looking at fiber, we're looking at structured water, we're looking at minerals. That's what makes a human body, everyone. So let's just really understand that. So we got to bring that foundation back. And Rob, I can tell you something right now, my friend. You've been running a deficit for so long, okay? It's like this. I got a Visa card. Every day I spend energy doing things. But what if I'm not, in charge or mastering my emotions? And what if I'm not making good decisions on hydrating or nourishing myself? All I'm doing basically is thinking I'm drinking enough water, thinking I'm drinking the right water, thinking that I'm eating, but I'm not actually nourishing. There's a difference between eating and nourishing. And you're going to find out everybody that comes on here that has a condition, they eat, they don't nourish. They don't nourish on an emotional level or a physical level. And there's nothing wrong with these people. These people are the 999 out of 1,000. And understand, everybody's been programmed, to emotionally, physically, and nutritionally abuse themselves. And that's the world. That's the world we live in. And that's it. I mean, we're not going to get angry, but we're not putting up with this anymore. And you've got to know that the one thing that you need to do is mind your own business and start observing yourself and taking a look at the prominent dominant beliefs that run your life. What do you think, Rob?
Well, I think that there's a lot of good information there. And, it's about the signal and the noise kind of thing, working from an engineering standpoint. I understand a lot. I've done a lot of research on health. And I echo a lot of the things that your sentiment, for sure.
So
but I would add that I was 195 pounds. I played hockey up in Canada when I got this bite. I was healthy. Although, to your point, I experienced a very traumatic childhood and had lived in fight or flight for a good part of my life.
You still are. No, but you still were. And understand that this
Absolutely. I'm trying to tell myself a different story, like you say.
I know, but this bug bite was
you know?
the straw that broke the camel's back. And guess what? Rob, you're beautiful. You've got a great heart. Now we got to feed your spirit and bring it up. And you know what? That's what we got to do. That's all we got to do. So then you went to the.
So in speaking about the mitochondria, you know, I do a ton of research, and I've been looking at methylene blue, and I have some that's been ordered from a compound pharmacy, and I'm going to take that because, you know, the whole electron transport chain, you know, is going to function a lot better with my mitochondria with that. So I'm investigating a lot of things, and, you know, I'd really like to talk to you about some other areas of, you know, that I would like to delve into, but I want to make sure I'm being respectful of your process and time. So please continue any way you like.
No, it's all great, but just understand this: mitochondrial damage is caused because of inflammation and calcification. So if you're not addressing the inflammation, if you're not addressing the calcification, then we're in trouble here, because that's really what the problem is.
Well, I agree completely, as well as, you know, sugar. And I eat one of the cleanest diets out there. I'm not one of these individuals who's
I'm not talking about sugar right now.
Non-organic
sugar
food,
will cause
and I eat a lot of whole-based plants. But you know, the whole thing with the mitochondria is that's what happens from the shot that I received, that fluoroquinolone shot.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So what happened was they gave you a very strong antibiotic shot, correct?
Yeah, they give it to people for anthrax and stuff, but they also give it to women for UTIs. They finally put a black box warning on it a few years back because of what it can do to the body. And what it's done to mine is it's caused muscle wasting. It's caused all kinds of tendon disorders, tendinosis, tendinitis, tendinopathy.
Okay, but hold on a second. But guess what? Like I said, it'll react differently on everyone. Okay, and understand something. We take a look at the personality, you'll find the reality of the condition. But the reality is that main thing, what did it target? It targeted your bacteria. So it knocked your bacteria out. The good bacteria knocked the good bacteria out in your large intestine. So now they either killed them, or remember something, doing what he got is like an atomic bomb. It's like we're going to blow up the whole area. We're going to blow up the good guys and the bad guys. And the problem is that's not a really smart thing to do, not on my point of view anyways. But the large intestine is 85 to 90% of your immune system. That's it. We know that scientifically. It's known as the second brain. And when you do an antibiotic injection in the butt, you know, that goes and it targets the good bacteria in your large intestine. So it's going to knock those things around, but it's also going to turn the yeast into fungus. And then that becomes a drill bit predator, and that drills holes through your large intestine. And that's what we call leaky gut. It's not leaky gut, it's leaky large intestine. So there is your big blowout autoimmune disease. Okay.
Sure.
So now we're flooding the body. I get it. And when that happens, and you get more infection into the pelvis, because that's what happens, leaky large intestine, we're pooping in the pelvis, goes in the bloodstream, overloads the liver, backs up the lymph system, and now that infection creates inflammation. The first few letters in that is inflame. The inflammation, inflame, now we got dehydration. So now we got stiffness. Now we've got beautiful connective tissue turning into scar tissue. Now we've got dysfunction, because wherever you feel pain, swelling, stiffness, or you have redness, we know we've got physical blocks. Those physical blocks are actually dehydration, because acidosis is inflammation out of control.
Yeah, and I would add that fluoroquinolone shot, it does react this way with a percentage of people, and that's why it has a black box warning on it, because it does.
Oh, listen, between you and me.
And the other thing that I would add quickly is that since it was a shot and the main derivative is fluoride, it penetrated the blood-brain barrier right away too. So it went right to the bloody brain.
Well, you have to understand. Okay, we can't get into the whole conspiracy thing, but the reality is it's more than a conspiracy. But here's the deal. So you have to understand that in this situation, you would never do this, because this is life-threatening. And unless your life was totally threatened, they should never have done this. But they will never, ever do it to me. and everybody else can make their own decisions out there. So now we've got the domino effect. So this was like just a power cave, and it was lighting up everything else. But I will tell you this, and I mean it. Don't look for a silver bullet. Look for a perfect day. Look for taking a good look at your whole day, and what would a perfect day look like to you on a physical, nutritional, emotional level. And if you could do that, you will work your way back. I am telling you. I'm going to tell you something, and I mean this, Rob, that there is not one disease that cannot be turned around, okay? If the patient, client, person wants to take massive personal action, okay, of course, they're going to have to spend time with themselves. Good luck with that with most people. Makes them feel selfish just doing it. Next thing, they're going to have to spend time and money on themselves, and a lot of people will not spend money on themselves. You know what? We have been taught to mistreat our body, and a lot of people are going to look for silver bullet therapy, and you can't. What you got to do is look for 1% change each day, and guess what? You're going to get there. Everybody, by the time they really wake up to the fact that they need to start doing some real homework and creating a different day to create a different life, to create a different body, they don't even yet understand that you got to change the belief systems in your mind to make it permanent, because nothing will stay permanent unless you've had a personality change.
Oh, I totally agree. You know, I kind of look at Schrodinger's cat and that whole experiment of collapsing a wave. You know, if you are collapsing a wave of reality around you that is one of sorrow and pain and misery, well, that's what you're going to live. Kind of like what you were saying with the story. So I tell myself a different story nowadays, but it's different than the one that I used to tell myself, that's for sure.
Can I answer a couple questions here? First of all, why are they able to do this to patients? Well, first of all, you have to understand, I'm going to say this. If you go and go to my library and go into my library, okay, and go in and take a look at the Rockefeller report. And the Rockefeller report that I did, it actually is about 15, 20 minutes long, and you can read about everything that he just said about the injection and about the fluoride. It's all true. You know, it's all about, okay, you have to understand, everybody, I gotta put this in a nutshell. This is personal, but you have to understand, the people that control the finances on this planet are allowed to, okay? The medical system, okay, is based on the petroleum industry. The Rockefellers created it. So most medicinals by the medical system are made out of petroleum. So how many people need petroleum? I'm not really sure. I don't think any. 80% of all of the therapies that are in a hospital actually came out of Nazi Germany. So I'll let you figure that one out yourself. The reality is that you could program a human being to eat anything, drink anything, say anything, and do anything. The human brain is 90% subconscious. 10% is only conscious. Most people can't stay in the conscious moment more than 2% of the day. So how are you going to get somebody to change enough unless you're going to be like me? You know what I mean? Trying to crack your coconut open, trying to get you to see that the terrorists that you've been searching for in your life is actually the belief systems that are in your subconscious that you don't even know you're running. If you were to change the beliefs in your subconscious, you could change your wealth, you could change your health, you could change everything about your life. But people aren't going to buy into this because not enough are doing it. The reality is that you've been schooled by the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds since you went to kindergarten all the way through university. The longer you go to school, the more you've been programmed, okay? And the only reason why we go to school for 12 years is because the Rockefeller says it takes 12 years of education to actually make a robot, a human robot. And understand this. So, you know what? Look at it, everyone. You got to understand that money doesn't exist. That's why you can see all of these drive-throughs can be busy or not busy. Because the reality is, if money's an illusion, except to 99.999% of the population, and then almost most of that population has poverty thinking, because they made us believe that money's hard to make, love is hard to get, health is hard to get, everything's hard to get because this is a slave planet. And if you don't believe me, don't really care. It's just that you've been enslaved so much that you're just going to go for the ride. The reality is I'm not a slave. The reality is I'm not a slave to the point that I set myself free as much as I possibly can on this planet. And I want to do that for other people. But guess what? I come on here and I usually piss people off because they think I think I'm cocky, but I'm not. I want you to be free. I want you to find your authentic self. I want you to know that you can have complete true health. And it doesn't matter if you're in a wheelchair. Doesn't matter if you're wearing Depends right now. Doesn't matter if you're on drugs. Doesn't matter if you had chemo, radiation. But you better get that crap out, because every drug you've ever taken, every chemo you've ever had, radiation you've ever had, is still sitting in you like a time bomb, and it's going to take you down, baby. And understand this: if you've had any surgery, if you haven't had Wolfe non-surgical to get rid of the scar tissue that the surgery caused, well, guess what? That's called old age. You know what old age is? Displaced calcium and scar tissue. That's it. Get the scar tissue back into beautiful connective tissue. Get the calcium back into the bones, and we can rock our world. You're going to have flexibility. You're going to have strength. You know, you're going to have this. You're not going to lose your muscles. You got to make sure that the most important part is your core. And if your core is hanging down and out, you're down and out. If it's popping out, then you're rotting out. So understand, and that's the majority of the population, and they don't want to hear this. So the reality is, no matter what Rob thinks, if Rob were to look at everything in his life, from the people he hangs around with, to the things he drinks, to the things he eats, to the exercises he does to bring more light in, to bring the frequency up, to actually bring his elasticity back, okay, to bring his tone back. Like, we have a whole program on exercise that just teaches you how to lengthen, strengthen, detox, and tone. Let me tell you something. Do you know where I made most of my money? Is people who go to the gym. Okay, they tear themselves out, they calcify themselves, they rip themselves. Oh, it's amazing what people will do. Okay, and what they don't need to do. You'll see people running on the street, okay, and their bellies are jiggling, okay, and you can tell they're just suffering, like they're ready to die, and they're trying to run their fat off. When fat is caused from what? Infection, which creates inflammation, and the infection and the inflammation has to be stored in fat cells. And then we've got Rob's case, where the mind isn't stopping, where the adrenaline is dripping, and where he's losing weight, but he's just losing muscle. And understand something, Rob, I would rather you be overweight, okay, and want to change things, than be underweight and try to bring your weight up. Because that means you got to calm the horses down in here, and you've got to bring up the amino acids in your body, big deal, to get the muscle tone back. And then you've got to get yourself an exercise regime that you're going to follow through on, so that you can get your core back. Yeah,
and I applaud a lot of the things that you said there. You know, it's interesting, because if your brain didn't have the subconscious working for it, you would have to have so much more energy than your body can provide for it. So, you know, it's kind of an interesting fact that one reason why we have that subconscious dealing with so much is because our brain can't really deal with it consciously. Otherwise, it would draw too much energy. But aside from that,
the brain draws more energy than any other organ, and that's even if you are well balanced. Okay, that your belief systems are based on unconditional love and care for yourself, and you hardly ever see that. Just know this: people are burning up calories, burning up their tissues. The big thing is this. If I can say this, okay. Remember, image, right? The image of the world, yourself, your life, creates a thought. Your thought, okay, is it negative or positive? Your thought is then going to create an emotion, which is going to be called negative or positive. Otherwise, happy, sad, angry, or depressed. Okay, from there, so we got image, thought, emotion, and then emotions are energy in motion that create frequencies. Those frequencies will trigger the brain to either dump dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, or to dump histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol, which 99% of the population is doing and doesn't even know they're doing it. So then that drip, 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 okay, is what burns everybody out, makes everybody stiff, causes the inflammation, all the way to mutation. So from constipation to cancer. Constipation, you're unwilling to let go of things, okay? Cancer, you're storing all this hate and anger, whether it's for yourself, the world, or anything else. It's what happens. Remember something, when Richard Nixon back in 1964 declared war on cancer, there was only, what, 2 people out of 100 that were getting cancer. Now it's 1 out of 2. And understand, when they did that, they got everybody thinking about cancer, running for cancer, jumping for cancer, swimming for cancer, thinking about cancer, and people are now the cancer. That's it. So the reality is whatever you focus on, you're going to get more. So look at your story, Rob, as we go through this, and just observe and don't judge yourself. And everybody else, do not judge, but observe, because once you start judging, then you put yourself in jail or you put somebody else in jail. Okay? So you got the shot. Oh, wait, can I just answer this? Carpal tunnel syndrome is easy to get rid of. And I'll tell you what, the person who wants to know about carpal tunnel syndrome, if you'll call my phone at 469-861-9454, why don't you come on and I'll go through why you got the carpal tunnel syndrome and how you can reverse it. Okay, another person from Africa, do depression meds work? Let me do this for Rob and I'll come right back to you because this is important. So here's the deal. There is no depression. You just got diagnosed with something that doesn't exist. Oh, and anybody, any medical doctor out there, any doctor, natural health doctor wants to challenge me, we'll have a nice friendly discussion here. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay? Now, here it is. Depression doesn't exist. Ready for this? Tell yourself a scary, terrifying, traumatic story long enough. Here's the deal, guys. They call it PTSD, but it's actually shell shock. And actually, what happens is everybody gets shell shock. It could have been a relationship. It could have been a car accident. It could have been something. But then go around telling everybody the story on how you were lucky to live. Go around telling people the story on why you're crippled that way. Go around, tell the story on why you're in so much pain, or why you can't work, or why you can't do this, or why you can't do that. And it's going to get worse. So understand, they took shell shock and they changed it into PTSD. Oh, because it sounds so friendly. No, everybody's getting shell shocked out there by the government, by the medical system, by corporations. I mean, come on, guys. You know, most people don't even know that the tobacco industry owns every food corporation now in North America. I mean, think about that. I mean, these guys really, you want them feeding you? Yeah, right. Okay. So anyways, so here's the deal. Tell a story long enough and strong enough and burn your brain up. Doesn't it create anxiety? The more you get involved in it, the more stress you have, the more you get a headache, the more you feel stiff. But guess what? I already told you earlier, everyone, the brain is not intelligent. It's only if it has intelligent beliefs. So the reality is you're going to tell yourself this story over and over again because it's just a computer and it's a chemistry lab. That's all it is. It's just those two things, okay? And because it's a computer and a chemistry lab, you overheated the computer. You overheated the computer by telling a terrifying, traumatic story, and then the computer says, I have to shut down. What's wrong with you, Darrell? I don't know. I'm depressed. What are you depressed about? I don't know. Well, because the anxiety from the story overheated the brain. You blew your brain out, and if it didn't shut down, you would have stroked out. So now you go to the doctor. Well, okay, you've got depression. No shit. Okay, all right. Excuse the language, but this is ridiculous. So then he gives you the depression meds. Guess what? Why doesn't everybody go do some research? 6 months ago, they did the biggest study on all the depressive meds. Okay, what did they find out? Okay, here's the deal. The FDA came back to the pharmaceutical companies and said, okay, you guys, you can still give out these depressive meds even though there is no depression. But the reality is that what we need you to do is we need you to call up 1 week after you put this prescription out and ask them if they're thinking of killing themselves. There was only one side effect that they found from taking depressive meds: suicide. The thoughts of having suicide. Okay? So understand, somebody says, why do things go on like this? Why do they go on like this? Well, because the herd, which is the majority, okay, are asleep. And they've always been asleep. But all we need is to get 1 out of 1,000 people totally awake, okay, all right, where they're going to hold the line, where they're going to speak up, where they're going to hold the line for their brothers and sisters. And we're on our way, please. We're on our way. There's so many people out there working for you, okay, holding the line, not fighting for you, enough fighting, okay, not attacking anymore, okay. It's called one love, one law, unconditional love for yourself first and foremost, and then shine that light on the world. What if nobody bought their crap? What if nobody bought their crap anymore? What if nobody pulled into a drive-through? Well, that's not going to happen. Robert, go ahead.
Yeah, I would add that polarity is important as well. And if you can find ways of getting your foods that have natural ways of balancing that polarity in your brain, you may find that that bipolarism goes away. You know, dealing with chronic 8s and 9s of pain, drilling, bone chilling type of
yeah, but I know, but you
hands,
can't keep
kind of, and taking your life as an athlete away can kind of make you feel a little bit depressed too. But I knew what was going on with me in terms of understanding that, you know, if things got better, I would be better.
Yeah, but one second, Rob. Rob, 1 second. They're not health practitioners. Rob, when you went there, you knew that they were only going to give you drugs, surgery, chemo, or radiation, or tell you to go to another specialist that would give you something even more toxic. Rob, hold on a second here.
So funny thing about that is when I went in, I saw an advice nurse at Kaiser Permanente, and she said, "You're going to need a shot." And I said, my exact words, "I don't do shots." And she goes, "I'm going to get the doctor, and he's going to tell you the same thing."
Okay, Rob, it's your body.
I said,
Rob, it's your
I
body.
want an antibiotic that's been on the market for ages and has no issues. Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. He injected me, a vice went around my head, I started pouring bullets of sweat, and then the neuropathy started down my neck and into my traps. That's how the experience went. I was adamant about not getting a shot.
Okay, I get it, Rob, but guess what? You can turn this around right now if you want, okay?
Yeah, that's the idea.
No, but Rob, hold on a second. Hold on a second. If you want to come back on with me and you're going to allow me to actually go step by step and lay this out, I'll do it. But if you're not going to follow it, and remember something, Rob, but I'm going to be telling you to buy some of my products. If you don't want to do that, that's okay. I'm going to be telling you different exercises. I'm going to be telling you different things to do. But if you, at this point where you are right now, Rob, listen to your voice. Your voice is in its 70s right now, okay? Your voice is in its 70s.
That was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was the esophageal, the eosinophilic esophagitis that's affecting my larynx and affecting my voice.
I get it, but I wanted to tell you something, and this is it. That needle was the straw that was the straw that broke the camel's back. You've been doing a lot of things emotionally and physically that you weren't aware of that aren't working for you and haven't been working for you all your life. Something's going to break you down. If it wasn't that, it would be something else, because personality creates all your reality. And that's it.
I definitely find that there's a lot of good information in that statement, but I just also want you to understand that this has paralyzed firefighters. This has paralyzed all kinds of people.
Understand something. 1 second.
Has a black box
1
warning
second.
on it for a reason.
1 second. Firefighters live a trauma life. Let me tell you something.
They do.
1 second. In this life, if you don't look at planet Earth as an adventure, and if you believe that when others suffer, that you need to suffer with them, and if most people cause their own suffering, why don't you just start calendar tracking yourself and write down, okay, when you're really happy, when you're sad, when you're mad, when you've got pain, and I'm going to guarantee you that you're running a robotic program. Everybody's running a program. There are people that will have 3 traumas a day. There are people that will go on a drinking binge for a week and never drink for months. There are people that need a drink every night. There are people that need to fight every day. They need to get home so they can fight with their family because they haven't learned to find peace. If people don't want to do the easy things, like wear a slight smile no matter what's going on, connect to your breath to stay in the moment, mind your own business, and focus on your passion and dreams with everything that you got. Do not get involved with the world at all. Make your life your only world. That's it. And that is what I teach. And I'm telling you right now, I've been doing this for 40 years. What you think and what comes out of your mouth, okay? And understand this. When I build my day, doesn't matter how many people I work with, how many people I work with autoimmune diseases that have life-threatening diseases, guess what? I feel what they're feeling, but I never take it on. And the problem is when you take on a story that's in the world about, listen, let me tell you something. The whole thing's a setup. They're going to keep on giving trauma stories and then getting people to buy. They love the chaos. It's like people go around and saying, you know, that Bill Gates is going to go to jail. This is going to happen. Everybody said, why didn't everybody just mind their own business, eat right, think right, drink right, live right? And guess what? We would be ignoring all this stuff. And you do not need a doctor unless you're in an emergency. And understand 99.9% of all emergencies start here.
You know, that's there's wisdom in what you're saying for sure.
Okay, but we're not talking about that.
I believe that we absolutely create our realities around us, and like attracts like. You know, so I concur with what you're saying. You know, I just want to focus on kind of not the topical or the superficial. I want to go to the underlying and the root. And I think that that's where, you know, your mind is with this. And I think you're right on point.
Most people are never going to do it because, you know what, I'm starting a whole life coach course on Monday. And I'll tell you something right now. There's about 22 in the course. And 11 of these people are coming because they're not coming to become practitioners. I've got, I've got doctors that take my course, nurses take my course from every field. But there's like half of them that are women mainly, and some men that take the course because they want to get on course. If you're not ready to crack open your coconut and decide what are the belief systems that are running your life, then, you know, you can do all you want. You're not going to make the change and keep it permanent. You know, the change has to happen there. But also, let's talk about this. Okay. What did you do this morning? I just want to touch on this. What did you do? What did you drink and eat this morning when you got up? Honestly.
So I got up, I brushed my teeth at 8 o'clock, and then I did that outside. I did some stretches in the sun. After that, I came in, I had a glass of water. Then I got onto the computer and I did some research.
Okay, well,
and
then
I spoke with you.
One second. What time is it now? Guys, I got to put these on because my eyes are starting to burn from the blue light. I'm putting these on because my eyes are burning from the blue light. Listen, when you got up this morning, do you know what you should have done in your situation? Because you are dehydrated. Listen to your voice. I guarantee your voice would change. When you got up this morning, you should have got up to in between warm and hot, structured water, and you should have drank a quart. And you should have done it before you went outside. That's the first thing you should have done. First thing. And you should have another quart of water done before 11, 12 o'clock at the latest, and another 2 quarts in the afternoon and done by 4. All I hear is dehydration, inflammation, beef jerky throughout your body. And we've got to get that beef jerky soaking in structured water, because structured water, if you get yourself a structure unit, go take a look at my website. I don't care what water you drink to use to purify, whether it's reverse osmosis distilled, or whether it's Berkey, or whether it's a Kangen water system, or just a charcoal filter. You need to structure water because it has 1,000% hydration value, and that's what you need. You're very dehydrated, Rob. Okay. This isn't just about the shot. This is about you suffering from dehydration for years. Now, the next thing I would have actually done, okay, is if I could afford it, or if I think I can afford it, you would have put black diamond, just 1/16 of a teaspoon in that warm quart, because black diamond will drop 70 to 80 micronutrients, minerals into your cells, into your brain and your blood, and it will load itself up with heavy metals, parasites, chemicals, and fungus, 300 to 500 times its weight, 500% of its weight. And it'll lock it down, and you don't have to experience the symptoms, because it's the only product. Zeolite won't do it like that and leave the nutrients. Activated charcoal won't do it, but humic fulvic will do it, our black diamond. And then the other thing is by what did you eat? When did you eat?
Well, I haven't eaten. I eat twice a day.
What time is it?
It's 11 o'clock. I'll be eating at 12.
Okay, so here's
what I'll have there is I'll have broccoli, mushrooms, zucchini, eggs, and then I'll also have my supplements for the morning or for the early afternoon.
Okay, first of all, what I would suggest that you first do is do a blender drink. And I will tell you, what time do you get up in the morning?
Usually around 8, sometimes a little bit earlier.
Okay, I think you're starving. Well, I know you're starving. You're not getting the proper nutrition. I know that, right, hands down. I will come on if you want, and we can talk about the supplement profile. Well, I don't deal in supplements. I deal in nutraceuticals, but I will do that if you want me to, if you think you're really interested and that you're actually going to utilize this, or I don't want to, because I don't want to do this because it's not some kind of marketing ploy, okay? As far as my products go, we sell our products all over the world, and trust me, we sell enough. We sell enough products.
I'm very interested in the Marigen, and I am completely open to speaking to you about the supplements or the nutraceuticals.
I will tell you the ones that I would tell you
that you have.
Can I tell you the ones I'd go research and then come back to me and then challenge me? Okay.
Sure.
The ionic calcium therapy, which is the Marigen. You have to go into the library to do that, because you do know that we're not allowed to sell the actual Marigen and other ionic calcium therapies on my store. Did you know that it's totally non-toxic? Do you know it's the only calcium product that's ever scientifically worked on the planet?
I've done about 5 hours of research on it, and my doctor is approved by the company to get it, but I'm just waiting for that process. But I'd rather work with you on it.
What process? You don't have to be approved by a doctor. That's not true. You can get it right through me.
Well, I'd love to talk to you about that, because I'm working with the parent company, not the parent company. Sorry, the daughter company. You know the one. I don't know if I can say the name.
Well, no, but guess what? If you want to work with them, go ahead and work with them. I don't want to be taking anybody. So.
Well, no, you're taking time on this call. I would like to make sure I'm supporting you in what way I can.
Yeah,
right?
I just want everybody to understand that's watching the show here. This is not a marketing thing, and I don't need to. I've been doing this for 40 years. I'm already looked after. My thing is not how much money I can make anymore. My thing is how much I can get people to buy into my BS, my belief system, that you should unconditionally love and care for yourself. That's the first and foremost.
If I can step in for a second here, the Sigma antibonding calcium is a miracle. I mean, anyone who looks that up and understands what Dr. Lee created at that point is going to be on board with how you don't need any ATP to process the type of calcium. It will go where it needs to in your body. So
just know this, everyone. It's called calcium ion therapy. And if you go to Doc of Detox, click on library. We have all the videos on every autoimmune disease and why it is the most powerful communicator. You can totally reverse any osteoporosis. I don't want to say too much on here, except it has reversed every autoimmune disease. And there are tens of thousands of testimonials all over the world, because understand, it only does what you could do when you were younger. When you were younger, your bones would fracture and you would release ions, and thousands of ions that would do 120,000 chemical and hormonal processes in 1 second. And guess what? They stated over the last 100 years on research and scientists and medical hospitals that if anybody could ever discover how to put calcium ions in a liquid form that people could drink, it would change the whole world. Guess what? That happened 9 years ago. And we actually provide that and support people all around the world with this product. Now, you cannot go, you can see it on my website, but you can't get the information on my website. You have to call in to purchase it, okay? You got to call in to purchase it, but go to Doc of Detox Library and then have your mind blown, because all the research is there.
The cell signaling alone tells you everything you need to know about this product and how it can work for someone. It truly is remarkable, and I'm so thankful that I came across it, because it really does seem like it's going to be an answer to one of those steps to getting me on the way.
Yeah, we sell more of that product than anybody else on the planet. So yeah, we work with hundreds of people with this product, and everything from everything. But anyways, take a look at the calcium ion therapy. Take a look at Black Diamond. Take a look at Black Gold, and understand something, everyone. There's a product I have called Critical Care. Now, these are mushrooms. Now, does everybody know that 95% of the market, the mushrooms are only 6 weeks old? They're made in a lab. My Critical Care mushrooms are 90 years old. They're grown on the side of trees in the Asian mountains. We're the only people that are selling this product outside of Asia, and it has 40 years of actual scientific research. Go watch some of the videos that Oliver does. Look at the science, it'll blow your mind. We have Vital Care for anybody that's wanting to really tighten up their immune system. They've got maybe a child that is in desperate care of rebuilding their immune system, Vital Care. Or the one that Critical Care, we have people that are taking 20 of those a day that were given only a few days. Do you understand? And they'll do the ionic calcium, they'll do the Black Diamond. And the other thing is, everybody, take a look at Daily Cleansing Tea. That is one of the most least expensive products you'll ever take. It cleanses the colon, the liver, the kidneys, the blood, and the lymph. Okay? And you take that in the morning and at night, and that's going to change your life. Even if you just did Daily Cleansing Tea and Black Gold, your digestive tract is the highway to your body. Let me tell you something, Robert. If I could get you to buy into my beliefs, my BS, and you actually did 90% of what I asked you, in 6 weeks to 3 months, we'd have a turnaround. But that means that you would have to dedicate yourself to doing lengthen, strengthen, detox exercises, belly button therapy, and all of the things that I'm saying you can find in my do-it-yourself guide in my library. Okay, so belly button therapy, clapping, lengthen, strengthen exercises, pelvic squats, crab stretch, the ultimate coffee enema, and getting on the perfect day lifestyle diet. And for those of you, people are asking how you find out all about this. Understand something. Right now I have my 40th anniversary. I've been in business for 40 years, my own clinics running. And now we've just opened up a university that people can come and get their doctorate of natural medicine, doctorate of biophysics, and doctorate of indigenous medicine. We've been approved by 220 higher learning schools throughout the world. So we've been in this for a little while, guys. Okay, where do I go to buy your products? Store.docofdetox.com. That's it, docofdetox.com. And where do you go learn about my trainings? You go to braveheartnation.com or bhnuniversity.com. Okay, now let me go into this. So Robert, if I could get you doing these things, clapping, belly button therapy, skin brushing, salt glows, there's a lot to do. And then, taking a nice 20-minute to a half an hour nap in the afternoon and getting you on a whole plant-based diet. But we'd also have to get you on what's called Amino Boost. Okay, it's a really delicious drink, chocolate that organic chocolate aminos that you mix with, let's say, organic strawberries, organic oat milk, and then you put black gold into it. You blend that up and drink it. That's what I would want you to do at 11. At 12 o'clock, I would want you to do a large salad with either beans in it. Okay, something happened here. 1 second. Give me 1 second. I don't know what happened. Give me just 1 sec. Okay. Access suspended. You can. Okay, so I said something and TikTok suspended me. All right, so there you go. My big mouth. Okay. So anyways, where was I? Yeah, so you could do a salad with avocado in it or a salad with maybe black beans in it, but you don't want to do black beans and avocado together. And then at nighttime, right, we would be looking at maybe doing another salad, or what you could do is you could do like a really good ancient grain with some steamed vegetables. But I'm going to tell you something. You do need to take aminos. There's a product called Son Formula, and if it was affordable, I would have you on 2 Son Formula every 2 hours. And I would have you exercising about 20 to 30 minutes in the morning and 20, 30 minutes at night, and having about a 20, 30 minute nap in the afternoon to recharge yourself. Okay. So, you know, we can talk about this. Go do some research and then let me know what you think. How's that, Robert?
Yeah,
but
that sounds
I
really
want to
good.
talk about your throat though before we run. Okay.
Yeah, and just really quick to kind of give back, the individual that was asking about carpal tunnel syndrome, they may want to look at the ulnar nerve and the compression that's happening there. And you can do tendon flossing. You can look that up, and that can allow that ulnar nerve to have the compression taken off of it.
Well,
and
actually, what you do, I'll tell you what you do. You actually do,
on that if you like.
Robert. Actually, what you do is you clap it. If you clap the wrist, you increase the circulation. You can also use DMSO cream and then paint away essential oil. It's just crystallization and scar tissue in that area. Okay.
Well, I've had hydrodissection on mine up by the elbow in the ulnar nerve because of the actual compression and the flossing.
No, wait a second.
Really
1 second, Robert. I just got to say this. I don't want people to get off track. The actual compression was just scar tissue, crystallization, and calcium, which can be reversed. No surgery needs to be done.
No, I'm not saying surgery needs to be done. In my case, it was because of the fluoroquinolone damage that I was having that hydro.
I'm trying to tell you that you still didn't need surgery. Okay? You know what? You're allowed to believe whatever you want, but when we're live and online, I want people to understand something, that guess what? If you're not in a life-threatening situation, you give me and my team 3 to 6 weeks, we will prove to you surgery is not needed. Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make that sound like it was surgery. It was an injection. But
yeah, but even injections, we don't need the injections. We need increased circulation. We need to get rid of the scar tissue by bringing the circulation back, because as soon as you bring the circulation back, the scar tissue turns right back into connective tissue. The human body is the greatest miracle on this planet. We just need to get out of its way and not buy into injections. All I'm saying is, whether it's a pill or an injection, I'm telling people if it's not a life-threatening situation, then let's give it 3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really speaking more about the flossing of the tendon. But anyways, I want to get to...
But the flossing of the tendon will actually grow... Okay, hold on. The flossing of the tendon will actually grow back to normal. Mm-hmm. Just know that.
Yeah.
No, but I need you to understand that.
You're saying that if you do that, it will?
Yes, I'm telling you it will.
Yeah, no, I support that.
Okay.
I support that. That's what I was saying, and I was just talking about the ulnar nerve and how that works through that. But
I know, but all I'm going to tell you is the nerve compression is just crystallization, calcification, and scar tissue, which are all reversible, and everything is based on people taking drugs for pain, and then guess what? It's a gut-brain disconnection where the pain and the inflammation is still going on, and it's dehydrating the tissue until you have a physical block, and now you got to cut it out. Like every hip, almost every hip surgery, every knee surgery, every low back surgery, almost every surgery in the body. And understand this, 95% of all surgeries never had to get done. And that's the deal. And they never used to get done, but now they get done because it's that easy to program people. All right.
And I didn't support any type of pain meds because you're just blocking the message, and the message is one that you need to address. And I didn't support any surgeries. I haven't had any surgeries.
I get it.
But in speaking about what did happen, my fingers started to claw, if you will, after the shot. So 4 months later, my pinky left finger would no longer bend properly. And then it spread to my ring finger and then my index and so on and so forth. And what this looked like was scleroderma, where basically you have all the scarring of the tissue going on.
Okay.
Where it doesn't allow the bending.
Well, we're getting back to the same thing. It's infection, inflammation, scar tissue formation, and I'm going to tell you something. If I would have done Wolfe non-surgical on your hands, on your elbow, anywhere else, it's reversible. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I'm looking forward to moving forward with this with you on it. But I'm just talking about kind of how this has progressed, and I understand what you're saying. I mean, scleroderma, they have no idea why it occurs.
Yes, okay, wait a minute. If the medical system were to actually say they knew how scleroderma was caused, and it's from infection creating inflammation and scar tissue formation, any human being could turn it around. Now, why would they ever tell you that they know how it's caused and then give you the answer that it's that simple? Do you know why every prescription name, you can hardly say it? Do you know why it's called colitis instead of inflammation of the colon? Why it's called fibromyalgia instead of pain in your muscles? Do you know why it's confused? Yeah, so that you feel stupid. And remember something, looking after the human body, an 8-year-old can do it, okay? Everybody's been programmed, everybody's been stupefied, I like to say, okay? They have stupid beliefs that have been drilled into them. People are not stupid. They have stupid beliefs. The body's amazing. It was created by God Almighty, and we need to start acting like it. That's all I want to say. Robert, go take a look and listen to...
Essentially what happened is I started having swallowing issues, and my food got stuck in my throat several times. So I went to the hospital, and they did a fluoroscan to kind of make sure there was no stricture going on in my esophagus. And they found that food was getting caught. And so I'm scheduled for a mammometry where they'll stick a catheter down my nose for 45 minutes down into my stomach, and basically it's going to watch the way that the muscles work in my esophagus when I swallow, and they'll have me swallowing saline water, and they'll check and see if it works like a snake where it's supposed to constrict in all the right areas, and the muscles
but hold on a second, Robert. It's not going to. We already know that you've got swelling, which is inflammation. We already know the inflammation is turning into scar tissue. They're going to find stuff wrong, or you would be swallowing normally. So now you got to get rid of the infection, get rid of the inflammation, and turn the scar tissue back again. Just even clapping your neck and increasing the circulation and using DMSO cream on the neck area, and even using infinite iodine and spraying infinite iodine into the back of your throat on a continual basis and nebulizing with infinite iodine is going to clear this up. What do you think? What do you think you're going to get from them, Robert? Surgery, drugs?
Well, that's just it. I do not want to go in for this mammometry, but what has happened from the biopsy that was done in my upper GI, it shows a eosinophilic count, which is basically a white blood cell, and it's reacting in your body, so it's an immune
Okay, but you've got a white blood cell count.
where basically my body is starting to see an allergen that's going on in my throat, and now it's deposited.
Okay, can I tell you something, Robert? Robert, honestly, love you, buddy, but we're going in circles. There are no allergies.
I'm just sharing what
1 second, Robert, there are no allergies. There's the inability to break down a toxin because you have inflammation and infection in the area. There are no
response. It's through the methylation pathway. I understand.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to tell you that, you know what, this is all reversible. But, you know, you're kind of like walking the edge. You're telling me that you want to go natural, but, you know, you're very medically oriented and you're looking for a silver bullet here.
I'm not. I'm
okay, so what? Okay, I understand that. What do you hope to gain?
I want to allow my esophagus to work the way that it was intended to work.
Well, then it's gonna,
it goes down, it doesn't stick.
Then you're gonna have to detoxify it and get rid of the inflammation to get rid of the scar tissue formation so that you don't choke. And inflammation causes dryness. So there you go. And we already know.
I agree. It's a mast cell activation. How do you propose I'd like to hear what you have to say about the mast cell activation that's going on there.
I'm gonna tell you that it's all about balance. It's all about pH. Okay. And the reality is you did not drink 2 liters of water up until this point, which you should have had today. You had 1 glass. I'm going to say, all I want to say, Robert, this is not a debate between me and you. I'm trying to tell you that, guess what? When you actually do the things that your body needs you to do, your body does the rest. Robert, if you could unconsciously create this problem, you could consciously turn it around. I gotta go. I've got another meeting, but listen, I want to thank you, Robert. Take a look at those things and then let's talk and then let's move forward. Okay. But I'm telling you, Robert, that I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole here. I already know, and I've been doing this for 40 years. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm trying to tell you, your body is amazing and you have to tighten up your day. Your day needs to be in a loving way, supporting all of these tissues so that they can come back to balance. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. I thank you for your time. And what I'll do is I'll get in touch with you and then we can start the path of going down of what I need to do from your standpoint. And I'll follow it. I mean, I have no problem with compliance.
I'm not looking for compliance, and I only want you to do the things that you feel you want to do. You know, I don't want anybody to come to me. If they feel they want to go the medical route, they can, or go the medical route and then do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Remember something, everybody, it's your body, okay?
I'd rather not go any medical route. I want to go down the path that you feel would be healing because I trust what you're saying. You know, I've looked over your library. I understand that you have a lot of wisdom and knowledge. So I'm on board. I want to start the process. So
yeah, I guess where I'm at, Robert, is I'm done. I'm done trying to sell my beliefs. Okay, I put them out there because those people that are ready to hear it, but I'm not looking to convert anybody into anything. I don't want followers. I want people to become their own leaders. And so it's really important because we're doing a live that I want people to understand that. I don't want people to do it my way. I want them to find their own way. All right, my friend. Thank you.
I'll get in touch with you.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Everybody's got their own belief systems, and you have to understand that. I'm not out to change somebody's belief systems. I want people to just start off with the logical things of the day, okay? First thing is if we could get him on structured water and get him to hydrate, 1 glass of water, and he has a throat problem, I'm not picking on him. It's just that this is, water doesn't cost hardly anything, and good quality water, you can get yourself a structure unit, and you're going to spend like right now probably around $250, and that'll last your lifetime and your family's lifetime after that. You know, a structure unit is not like a filter. It doesn't take any batteries, no electricity. But even if we could get him drinking like close to a gallon of water a day, of structured water with black diamond in it, my gosh, you'd see a difference. You'd hear a difference in his voice, because black diamond will be pulling any heavy metals, any acidity. It'll be dropping off micronutrients. Where do you think it goes first? In your mouth and then down your throat. I mean, it's not that hard to heal the throat. You know, it's a lot harder to heal the brain. It's a lot harder to heal an organ over here. But the throat, everything has to pass it, and everything's got to go down into that area. So this area is getting the highest vibration. And then if he were clapping his chest, okay, and then clapping around his neck using DMSO, essential oils, if he was nebulizing infinite iodine, I know we'd rock this thing. But we need to take a look at his diet. And he says he only eats 1 small meal, 2 small meals a day. You know, right now he needs to really load up on aminos, because he's burning up, and that's why he's losing weight. He's losing muscle. He's not losing weight. We don't want him to lose muscle, because you lose too much muscle, you can't get out of bed. You have no movement. And the more muscle you lose, if you take a look at anybody who's lost muscle, they're pulling calcium out of their bones so fast that their joints are getting calcified, and now they have no flexibility. They feel like they could snap, and you know what? They can't extend, they can't flex properly. I do not want to come off as a know-it-all. I've been doing it for 40 years. Even if I'm as dumb as a stump, some things just keep repeating themselves. Okay? I'm not looking to become your doctor. I'm not looking to become your leader. I'm looking to share the information. And just like you would go shopping, just pick the things that you would like and try those out and see if I deserve your trust. Have a beautiful day, and God bless.